Tonight on Newswatch.
It's been 1 day since a leak at the Austin Powder Red Diamond plant in MacArthur forced nearby residents to evacuate their homes.
A contaminant got into a 5,000-gallon tank of nitric acid, triggering a chemical reaction that released 3,000 gallons of nitric oxide gas into the air.
Every resident in Zaleski, a nearby village, as well as everyone within a 3-mile radius of the plant was forced to evacuate. According to Zaleski residents, this is the first time they've ever had to be evacuated. Some people in Zaleski are concerned about the plant experiencing another leak soon, but Vinton County Sheriff Ryan Kane says he has faith in Red Diamond, and even if something were to happen, Vinton County's first responders are ready.
I do have faith that Red Diamond has a solid operation. We're here to serve. No matter what happens, we're going to be here to deal with it.
The Ohio
deal with it anyways.
The Ohio Senate passed its version of the state budget. In yesterday's 23-10 vote, with one member of the GOP dissenting, the Senate passed its change to the House's version. One of the main amendments is the addition of a flat income tax of 2.75%. The tax would mainly save money for those making more than 6 figures, but would cost more to the state than $1 billion over the next 2 years. Another major part of the budget bill was the controversial school funding formula. The Senate also addressed school funding issues in their version of the budget. Lawmakers said the Fair School Funding Plan from 2021, but the plan uses outdated levels of funding. It's not fully funded, which means it could affect how much money schools have to work with. The Senate sent the bill back to the House, which almost unanimously rejected the Senate's changes. Now the bill is in conference committee, but it will be sent over to Governor Mike DeWine. The governor has until June 30th to sign the bill.
Chaotic scenes on the ground in Ahmedabad, India Thursday after an Air India flight bound for London crashed shortly after takeoff. The plane, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, hit a building that served as a hostel for doctors. At least 290 people died, including people on the plane and in the hostel. But at least one passenger has survived the crash. Officials at Air India offered their condolences.
And our efforts now are focused entirely on the needs of our passengers, crew members, their families, and loved ones. I know that there are many questions, and at this stage, I will not be able to answer all of them.
Local Indian media outlets say the survivor is a British national. He told a reporter he heard a loud noise only 30 seconds after takeoff, followed by the crash. The people on board were reported to be from India, Britain, Portugal, and Canada. Today's deadly Air India crash put summer travel safety back under scrutiny and Boeing's track record under another harsh spotlight. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with a look at how the disaster is reverberating through the airline industry.
This is a difficult day for all of us at Air India.
The CEO of Air India says investigations into what caused a London-bound flight to crash shortly after takeoff from the western India city of Ahmedabad will take time. Meanwhile, the deadly crash of a Boeing 787 Dreamliner will put the American aerospace giant and the aircraft under greater scrutiny.
This is a devastating setback for the company.
The Dreamliner debuted in 2011 and got off to a rough start. In 2013, the FAA initiated a global Dreamliner grounding over fire risk associated with battery failures. But the Dreamliner had never experienced a fatal crash until Thursday.
It's never had a crash that involved fatalities, and it is a highly automated aircraft.
Boeing said in a statement they were in contact with Air India and ready to support the airline. The company has been mired in a years-long quality control crisis, including 2 deadly crashes of its 737 MAX plane in 2018 and 2019. Before the crash, on Wednesday, members of a Senate panel asked President Donald Trump's nominee to lead the Federal Aviation Administration how he'd hold Boeing accountable for safety.
I look forward to advancing our certification technologies, processes, employee development around certification, and certainly holding Boeing accountable.
The crash also putting air safety back in the spotlight as the summer travel season heats up in the U.S. And less than 6 months after an Army helicopter collided with American Airlines Flight 5342 on approach to Washington's Reagan National Airport, leaving 67 people dead. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
State officials are expressing strong social and political viewpoints about the presence of U.S. Marines staged just outside Los Angeles. The deployment of those troops, along with that of the National Guard units already in the city, is sparking heated backlash from local officials and other state governors. Michael Yoshida brings us more on the situation in LA and the solidarity being shown in Washington, D.C.
Day 7 of protests here in downtown Los Angeles, a calm and peaceful start to the day. We're just outside the detention facility, which has been the focus for so many of these protests, maybe 10 to 20 protesters right now. All of this happening as we continue to see a showdown between the Trump administration and Democratic leaders.
As we speak, an American city has been militarized over the objections of their governor.
The governors of New York, Illinois, and Minnesota on Capitol Hill today, defending their state's immigration enforcement policies to the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee and pushing back on what they call federal overreach.
Securing our border does not mean we sacrifice our constitutional values.
It's wrong to deploy the National Guard and active duty Marines into an American city.
Near LA, the U.S. Northern Command says hundreds of Marines have completed training and will be deployed within the next 48 hours. They'll join thousands of California National Guard troops already called up by the Trump administration.
Our mission is to protect federal agencies, our federal partners, their personnel as they conduct their federal mission.
We're not scared to go further.
That is what worries LA police and city officials.
I still want to be able to clarify things further and be able to get a greater comfort level as to what their roles and responsibilities are.
The portrayal is that all of our cities are in chaos, rioting is happening everywhere, and it is a lie.
City officials say recent overnight curfews that cover only 6 miles of LA's approximately 500 square mile expanse have helped tamp down violence by agitators, while daytime demonstrations are mostly peaceful and well controlled by local law enforcement. Similar protests continue coast to coast, with some cities like Spokane, Washington, announcing a state of emergency and curfew as well.
And here in Los Angeles, again, you can see members of the California National Guard standing outside of this detention facility. As for those Marines, again, they have now completed that training. We are expecting them to be deployed within the Los Angeles County area within the next 48 hours. In Los Angeles, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is terminating legal status of hundreds of thousands of migrants. DHS is expected to email termination notices to affected migrants. The document tells recipients they could be subject to immigration enforcement if they do not leave the country. The notices will be addressed to Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans who come to the U.S. through the Biden administration's humanitarian parole program. Work permits tied to that program will also be revoked. President Donald Trump on Inauguration Day signed an order seeking to end the Biden-era parole program. A Senate committee is proposing to change the provisions of the food stamp program that are in the White House-approved Republican mega bill. The House package could impose work requirements on parents who have children ages 7 years and older. It aims to reduce federal spending by billions of dollars by making cuts to Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP. Now the Senate panel is proposing a tweak of the House requirement bill. Its version would mandate parents with children 10 years and older to work and maintain their benefits. Right now, parents of the dependent children are exempt from the SNAP work mandate. Here in Athens, Ohio, it has been a sunny day.
For more on the forecast, we'll hand it over to forecaster Steve Nedlick, who is live from Larry's Doghouse here in Athens. Steve?
Yeah, guys, I'm out here at Larry's Doghouse where there have just been waves and waves of cars, about 5 or 6 at a time, coming in here to get a sweet treat to try and beat the heat today, because right now we are sitting at 85 degrees in Athens and it's already 6:30, 7 o'clock, so usually it'd be cooling off by now. Now, the reason for that is this high pressure system that has moved into our area, and that has allowed for a lot of sunshine to come in over the past few days, and that's just why we've been heating up, and really been back to like our normal temperatures for this time of year after we had a little bit of a chilly start. Now, right now there's no rain in the area, again, because that high pressure really clears the air out, so we have been dealing with a lot of sunshine, not a lot of clouds, but we have had some haze in the area. That's why if you look out into the horizon, it does seem like we have a few clouds. Now, as for tonight, we're not going to get very chilly. We're going to get barely out of the 70s, 68 degrees tonight, because clouds are going to move in to the area as that high pressure begins to move out. And now, looking into tomorrow, we start to see a little bit of rain come into the area, and that's going to start the story. We're going to have some rain over the next few days, and it might impact Father's Day weekend. So stay tuned for my full forecast where we break that down.
Tonight is the first show and annual Under the Elms concert series.
The series has been going on since 1947 and continues to bring people together across generations through their love of music. Reporter Talia Milowich is live on the College Green with more details.
Under the Elms Band performs each summer with musicians of all ages. I'm here with Bob Smith, who started the concert series, and his daughter, Metra Peterson, who has been performing with the band since 1978. So, what made you want to start this concert series?
What made me want to start it? Either that or get fired.
Jeez. And what's it like to see your daughter still playing to this day?
She's not old enough to play in this band.
Why do you decide to keep coming back each year to perform?
Oh, I love it.
Yes, he loves it.
It's like a bad pet that you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
Why do you choose to?
I love the friends, I love the music, I love the concept of community. Usually my whole family is here, but we're not here tonight. We had some sickness, and so it's good to see everybody and play with people.
And thank you so much for speaking with me. You have a good performance.
I got it.
She's done.
Oh, she's done?
If you can't make it to tonight's show, you still have 3 more chances to see the Com University Band. The next show will be Thursday, June 19th, followed by the June 26th show with Summer Music Academy. And the last show will be Thursday, July 3rd for the Independence Day celebration. All performances will be held at 7 p.m. in West Portico outside Memorial Auditorium, or inside the auditorium in the case of rain. A full recap of the event will air on Newswatch tomorrow. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Talia Milowich, live on College Green.
Summer travel. But in the midst of the measles outbreak, what experts say can keep you safe?
And RFK Jr. makes updates to the Vaccine Policy Board.
Rain is in the area. Find out when it gets here next.
The only things that really interest me are forensics and criminology.
I need her on my team.
The solution lies in looking at it from a different angle.
Patience is the only one who spotted a pattern between those deaths.
Your father was a police officer.
I need to solve the case.
I can't leave a puzzle unsolved any more than you can.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
I am always here to serve and to listen. The good Reverend, love 'em and leave 'em. I want to find someone like you found Kathy.
Help! Please! Everyone who witnessed a murder today, hands up.
Deep, dark secrets. We all have those.
There is something else you should know. What is this? This is who I am.
A new season of Grantchester on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
This is our chance to prove ourselves.
Here's to possibilities.
Well, then we best get started.
There's much about me that you don't know.
You're persistent, I'll give you that. You have been busy.
Justice never sleeps. Every time I see you, there are more of you. And we're even more successful.
You are many things. You're not boring.
Let's not get carried away. We are going to do this together. I'm really impressed.
We're looking for 3 tons of gold. It's murder.
We have a match.
Probably just coincidence.
Nope.
There's never a dull moment.
A lot of people are out here at Larry's Doghouse trying to beat the heat because we've had temperatures as high in the 80s today, and we did have a little bit of humidity. It's sitting at 46% right now, but that's not going to be the big story today. We have a high pressure system that's sitting in our area, but that's slowly going to begin to move out. But as for right now, it's playing a big part in why we have these such clear skies. Now, again, no rain in the area, and that's a good thing, but it did allow for a lot of sunshine to reach our area today. That's why all over the place we have highs in the mid to upper 80s. Buchanan's 80s. So we have these mid-80s temperatures with a decent amount of humidity in the air. So it was a pretty hot one today, but that's why we're out and enjoying it, because that's not going to last for very long. Now, taking a look at the air quality alert, we have surrounding areas that are dealing with a little bit of ozone because they have these pollution particles from the exhaust of cars, and it gets heated up, and that's why it might make you sensitive to a little bit of outside activity today. So we have a moderate air quality risk in the area, but we don't have these advisories just surrounding areas. Now, this high pressure is going to start to move out, and that's going to do one of two things. It's going to keep the heat in tonight, and so that is why we are not going to have very low overnight temperatures. It's going to be 68 tonight, so it's not going to be anywhere near what it was last night where we had a low of 55. Definitely a comfortable night if you want to, go out to the Court Street, if you want to go out to dinner, maybe eat outside tonight. Tonight's the night to do it. Now, when we get to tomorrow morning is when we start to see these clouds roll in, and that's because this high pressure is starting to move out. And it's going to allow us to have a little bit of possible rain in the morning, but the big thing is tomorrow night, and that's when we start to see these pop-up showers. Now, they shouldn't last very long, but because we don't have a lot of energy that's going to be sticking around, but it will be pretty warm tomorrow because, again, we don't have any of that heat release tonight. So it'll be, again, a really warm and muggy one. As for tomorrow, the high is going to be 86. The humidity is going to be a lot higher, so we really have to worry about that heat index. So we'll be taking a look at that tomorrow. But if you have any outdoor activities tomorrow, make sure you drink plenty of water and apply plenty of sunscreen. Looking at Saturday is where the story starts to unravel a little bit. We start to get a lot of widespread rain, and it's just going to set up and really not move out of the area. We have a lot of moisture that's going to drop in onto our region, and then as we take a look back, this really isn't going to go anywhere. It's going to set up and not move. This stationary front is going to drop a lot of rain on us. Saturday, we could have some thunderstorms in the area, and it's pretty much the same thing on Sunday as we take a look at our 7-day forecast. The rain's here for the foreseeable future as we have a ridge that's going to move in, and what a ridge is a high pressure system that's going to try and clear us out at the end of next week, but we do have to deal with a lot of rain towards for the majority of this week.
So,
we'll be watching that closely.
Please tell me, are we going to be able to go to Stroud's for Father's Day, or is it looking like it's going to be raining?
I don't think it's going to be a good weekend for Stroud's, especially with that free fishing. It looks like it's going to be a pretty big washout, especially Saturday and Sunday. But you might be able to do it tomorrow as those showers move in pretty late.
Well, thank you, Steve. A concert, a mall, in airports, and on planes. These are the places where people in the U.S. have reportedly been exposed to measles. And as you travel this summer, health officials are urging you to stay safe. Mandy Gaither has more.
It's a highly contagious disease, easily spread through a cough or sneeze. Measles cases continue to climb in the U.S., prompting an advisory from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, warning of exposures during summer travel.
I think there are a number of viral infections that we need to be concerned about when traveling or just in the summertime.
Dr. Daniel Koritskis with Brigham and Women's Hospital says the best protection against measles is vaccination. The CDC advises the virus can live for up to 2 hours in the air or on surfaces, and an infected person can spread measles up to 4 days before until 4 days after their rash starts. The measles vaccine is routinely given to children in 2 doses, one typically between 12 and 15 months, the other usually around 4 to 6 years old. But adults who haven't been vaccinated or are unsure of their vaccination history should also consider the vaccine.
In some circumstances, it might be appropriate for infants to get immunized even if they're younger than 15 months.
Other viral travel threats, norovirus. Koritskis says hand hygiene can help protect against that virus. And there's still COVID-19. He says cases typically tick upwards during the summer.
If you are somebody who's 65 and older or have a medical condition that puts you at greater risk for severe COVID, and you're going to be in crowded situations, especially indoors, then you should seriously consider getting a COVID booster if you haven't already done so.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is appointing 8 new advisors to the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Council. This comes just 2 days after he removed the previous 17 members of the panel, citing conflicts of interest. The revamped panel, which helps to shape the national vaccine policy, includes several outspoken critics of the government's COVID-19 response. They are expected to meet later this month to review the vaccine guidance. Kennedy said the panel won't endorse new recommendations without, quote, definitive safety and efficiency data. Cuts to federal research funding pose an existential threat to academic, medicine, and the nation's health at risk. That's according to a new report from the Association of American Medical Colleges. The report noted that the proposals in the House GOP tax and spending cuts bill could lead to a loss of health insurance for 11 million people. The association's senior director for science policy said, should this trend continue, the U.S. probably will face a physician shortage, stagnation in scientific process, and decline in quality of medical care. She says this is the first time in recent history when all 3 missions of academic medicine, research, education, and patient care are threatened.
Rural hospitals will face deeper financial strain that could lead to negative health outcomes for the communities which they serve.
The decision has already faced criticism from Democratic lawmakers.
Next, inflation rose slightly in May, but experts are predicting consumers will see in retail prices.
PBS viewers believe that businesses that sponsor PBS on WOUB Public Television have a commitment to quality and excellence. Sponsoring a PBS television program offers your business a unique opportunity to connect with a highly engaged, loyal, and trustful audience in a clutter-free environment, leading to increased brand awareness, positive perception, and potential for higher customer engagement. Your sponsorship is important to the community, and the rewards come back to you in the form of loyal customers. Align your organization with America's most trusted news and public affairs network. WOUB Public Television is worthy of your trust. Contact Corporate Support Director Kathy Malesic at 740-593-4909 or online at woub.org/support.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
The Renaissance is endlessly conflicted and violent. And once you start to mix art and money, it's a lethal cocktail.
Michelangelo knows that he is going to be judged.
When it's finished, Leonardo moves to a new level of fame.
Raphael is going to steal Michelangelo's legacy.
Rivalry is embedded within the Renaissance.
The nation's wholesale inflation inched up 0.1% last month. Fresh data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics reveals that the bump due to the Producer Price Index caused the annual rate to rise 2.6%. The PPI is considered a foreshadow of what direction retail-level inflation will go over the next few months. The rise in May is a course reversal from a 2/10 of a point drop recorded in April. Analysts say that was largely pushed by retailers and wholesalers dealing with higher tariffs set by the Trump administration. Many economists predict consumers will eventually see some price increases driven by tariffs.
Still ahead.
This is PBS, but it could go away if federal funding is eliminated. Go to protectmypublicmedia.org and tell Congress to save funding for your PBS station.
Can you feel the moment
The American Revolution changed the world.
where the story unfolds?
Everybody had the sense of possibility worth fighting for.
What took place here still leaves us in awe.
We can work towards equality together.
Wow, this is the missing piece. Incredible.
To confront these figures from ancient history is a great privilege.
Our history tells us who we are, where we came from.
And it's all connected.
Like links in a chain.
Like links in a chain.
Yeah.
All I can do is say thank you.
Wow, this is phenomenal. I'm really grateful for this.
We're on the precipice of a great discovery.
Fasten your seatbelt.
America's favorite pastime is bringing some of America's top elected officials together.
The congressional baseball game is more than a century-old tradition that brings members of Congress split into the teams of Democrats and Republicans to the baseball diamond for a night of friendly competition.
It's what people hope to see, Republicans, Democrats coming together for this cause, and if we can find other ways to agree, I think people would appreciate it.
The event raised nearly $3 million for charity this year. And now for the weather, we have Steve Nedlick again live at Larry's Doghouse for more. Steve?
Yeah, guys, people have been filing in and out of Larry's Doghouse today just because it's been so hot. It makes you just want to go eat an ice cream cone. And that's kind of going to change tomorrow, so we're going to try and get the most out of it tonight that we can. As for tonight, clouds are going to start rolling in, and that's what's going to keep our temperature so high. We're going to be at 68 degrees tonight, so it's really going to feel like some of our daytime temperatures were about a week ago when we had that cold front move in. So it's going to be pretty warm. However, it's going to bring with it a lot of showers. We're going to have rain in the forecast the next 7 days. Now, the biggest threat for a thunderstorm widespread is Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, we have a big chance of some thunderstorms moving in, and so with all this rain, there could be some flood threats in the area, so we are going to be watching out for that. And then on Sunday, it's going to clear out just a little bit, but again, some pretty widespread showers. Monday, we start to see that ridge, again, the high pressure start to try and clear our skies out, but every single day, we're going to have some daytime driven by the sun showers that are going to hit us every day the next week. So be sure to get that sun in today.
Well, that's all we have this evening, folks. I'm Megan Acker.
And I'm
Steve
Courtney
Nedlick.
Smith.
This is Passport, your ticket to stream complete seasons, early releases, iconic series, and so much more.
This was perfect.
Donate to your local PBS station and start streaming today.
Support comes from Explore Hocking Hills. Mind, body, and soul can revive, surrounded by the natural beauty of the Hocking Hills. Outdoor adventures, cabins, and family festivals await. Information and details at exploreHockingHills.com.